Hello and welcome back. Welcome to part 3. This is Karen with Creative Paper Artisan, and if you have been crafting along with me in part 1 and part 2 of the beginner's junk journaling, I want to congratulate you wholeheartedly. You are probably like 90% on your way to becoming a fantastic junk journaler. You're gonna, and by this point, I hope you are aware of how addicting it is and how much fun you can have. It's fun, it's relaxing, it's exciting, all at the same time. I love it. I love it. So today we are going to work on our cover and then attaching our signature to the cover. And this is the easy way to do it. As I'd mentioned previously, there are lots and lots of ways to attach a cover to your signatures. But this is the beginner version. This is what I found to be the best for me when I was beginning. And honestly, I still really like this method. So let's just get started. The first thing that you will need to do is, once you have your signature done, you know your basic size, you'll need to get a piece of cardstock, and it needs to be ideally I like to have it about 1/8 of an inch larger than the signature is going to be around all the edges, because you don't want it necessarily you definitely don't want it to be shorter, and it just looks better when the cover is just covering all of the edges. So in an ideal world, if I still had a printer that printed all the way to the edges, I would have printed a design or whatever paper that I wanted on the front, and then also on the back I would have done maybe like a complementing paper. But since my new printer, which prints fantastic, but it does not print to the edges anymore, so I'm going to make do, and I will show you how to make do. I've noticed that paper crafting and junk journaling is the majority of it is just kind of making do and making the best of what you have. So what I plan on doing is, first of all, let me just tell you that if I fold this in half, this is cardstock, 110-pound cardstock. This will make the perfect cover for this size journal. Most of my other journals in my shop, just FYI, are usually, the pages are a little bit smaller. So this one just happened to be just the right size to be able to use a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. That folded in half will make a great cover for this. But it's just white, and we don't want just white, do we? I don't think so. So what I'm going to do is decorate, kind of embellish it like we did with this page. I'm going to just kind of make a pretty cover with bits and pieces. And I have decided to use the paper that comes in this French Cottage Rose kit. I printed another sheet out, but I wanted to kind of use up what I have. So I'll be able to use this section, and then I'll use another section with that. And I'm also going to use one of these pretty pieces of ephemera. This is actually a freebie in my Facebook group. It's the most recent freebie. And well, depending on when you're watching this video, it may not be that recent, but if you join my Facebook group, you are welcome to all of the freebies that I do every Friday. You just can't share them with anyone else. You can invite other people to the group, but I'm a little bit crushing on how these turned out. So I want to make one or more of these part of the cover. because it coordinates quite well with the vintage roses in this kit. So that's what I plan on doing there. Oh, and also I just wanted to show you, this is the exact same thing, but when I printed, I just chose the option for you print 2 to 1 page. And so it made them little minis, which are adorable. I'll be using them somewhere, somehow, probably in this journal. So, so there's that little tip. But let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and fold this where I need it. And I'm going to use my scoreboard. Because it is cardstock, and I'm doing a larger fold, it's going to be easier if I can score it just a little bit, because then the fold will be just kind of cleaner. So let's see. Okay, so 11. Excuse me. Okay, so 5.5 is my mark. Okay, so it's given me a nice little groove. I'm not sure if you can see that, but now let me put this baby away. Now I will be able to fold it very nicely without any kind of cracking or getting off kilter too much. So that's what we're going to do there, okay? Now let's just see how it's going to fit. So see how everything is about 1/8 of an inch larger, and on the end there too. Close it up. See? Nice. Okay. But now comes the fun part. I'm going to put this somewhere away, tuck it away somewhere safe for a minute, because we're going to start getting I'm going to get a little bit messy here. So the whole point of doing this is because I can't print anymore without the white edge. So I'm going to just cut this piece just slightly smaller and kind of have this be a frame. So let me measure. Let's see. Okay, so this is 8.5, obviously. I think I want a 1/4 inch border will be nice. So 8 by 8 by 5. All right. And I'm going to do the same for the front and back. So I will just get my handy dandy little guillotine cutter. Let me trim off the white. And let me just go ahead and make the 5 mark cut. Perfect. And then I'll trim the white off of these edges, which should bring me to 8 inches. But see, this little guy is not, hang on, it's not quite big enough. If this was just a little bit bigger, it'd be perfect. Okay, let's see. Let me do it the old-fashioned way. I'm assuming that just trimming off that white edge is going to put me where I need to be, but I want to make sure. Okay, yep, it's a little bit more can be trimmed off. So let me get up closer here. I'll make a mark right there. And again, down here. That way I can line it up a little bit more exactly. Now again, I could tear the pages, but this time I think I just want to do the nice clean cut because we're going to be doing quite a bit of embellishing. So it will be pretty frilly by the time I get done with it. So I'll just let that speak for itself. So let me do this again here. All right, so here we have, let me decide which way. I think I want them to go this way. All right, so here we have, we're going to center that there, and then on the back, we'll do the same thing. But because we didn't want the white edge, remember, I am going to ink the edges with a much wider strip of ink. So what I need to decide is what color. This is my plan. Okay, see, so I'm kind of making this up as I go because that's half of the fun. But I'm going to ink the edges of this with the dark brown walnut stain that I've been inking the rest of the kit with. And I think I want to have the very edge be the same brown, but I think I want a little different color in between. So there'll be like a dark brown edge here and a dark brown edge here, but then something a little different in that wider part. So let's experiment with some colors again. And I'm really loving the teal that's in here. I'm a big fan of teal, which I'm thinking I'm going to use this card to be part of the cover, and it goes nicely with the teal there. I like teal and brown. And see, there's a little brown butterfly there. So I'm wondering if I have the right teal. So let me take a gander here. I have several kinds of teals. I have speckled egg, which is kind of a light teal. I have peacock feathers, which may be a bit bright. I don't know. I have salvaged patina. Oops. Let's see. I think the rest are all, well, here's an evergreen bow or bow. I don't know how that's pronounced now. It's leaving me. Okay. I'm gonna look through my little guys here. Let's see if I have any. I don't think I do. Whoops. 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 Peeled paint. Nope. I don't think I have any of the little guys. That's a small one of peacock feathers. Okay. All right. I think we're going to stick with these. And let me just play with them a little bit here. And time to get experimenting. All right, ideally I should probably have a separate one for each color, but I don't know. I kind of tend to just use the same one as long as they're close. Let me get off whatever I can get off here on this one. Oh my goodness, I'm shaking the table again. I'm sorry. All right. Salvaged patina. What do you think? Not quite. Not bad. Not bad, but not quite. I'm kind of I kind of have the sense that the speckled egg is going to be the one, but let's see. Yeah, that's pretty close. All right, let's keep playing here. Evergreen bow, it's definitely more green, which this is a greenish tealish green. It's kind of that in-between color. So maybe this will be the one. I don't know. And you see, I had mentioned in my previous videos that the reason I like these is because I can do a very smooth smudge, I guess. It's just very smooth because it's very soft bristles. And with the sponges, I feel like I can't quite get this smooth. So that's why I like these. So, okay, let me see. Well, that's not bad either, but I think I'm going to probably stick with the speckled egg. But just because I have it out, let me try the peacock feathers. Quite sure that's going to be a bit bright. Yeah, it's pretty, but a little bit bright for me for this. So, what did I say? Salvaged patina? No. I forgot already. I think speckled egg is what I said, right? Let me make sure. I think it was this one. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, speckled egg it is. Speckled egg it is. All right. So what I will do is do a nice wide, smudge all along all of the edges, front and back to start. And I need to get another piece of scrap. Okay. All right. And I think to help get that smoothness on the edges, I'm going to start from the outside. Instead of going like this, I'm going to go like this. So it kind of grabs that edge and then kind of smooths, kind of gradient kind of effect. I think that'll be so pretty. And if there's a little bit of, blotchiness to it here and there, that's okay too, because we are doing a vintage project, and vintage is definitely far from perfect. So no worries there. Okay, so let's take a look and see how that's looking. Ooh, I like it. Oh, I like it. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing to the back. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of brown on the edges. So let me see now how that looks. Yes, I think that'll be lovely. So now I'm just going to ink the edges here. And you may have noticed that I was inking these edges the same way as I was doing this color, instead of how I've been doing it like this. And that's mostly because I wanted to have a little bit of gradiating color come into it. If you do it just like this and it's just on the edges, and I don't know, it's kind of a little bit different, a different feel. I don't know if it'll show up as much here, but when you just do it like this, it's just kind of like a stronger line. And there's a little bit of, it depends on, how far you go in. But it just, I think for this effect, it works better if you go from the outside in like this again, like I did with this color, just not as much. But with this part, I'm just going to ink it like I've been inking all the other stuff, okay? All right, so here we have the very beginnings of a beautiful cover. And this, I could have printed this on cardstock. You can do cardstock on cardstock. It'll just make it that much more sturdy too. But since I already had this on regular paper, I just wanted to match it. And, this works out just fine. And I will now glue this down, and I'll use my my glue stick again, because it's thinner paper, and it'll just be a nice flat glue. Let me do this again, and I'll just cover it really well, especially all the way to the edges. All right. It is very sticky. And of course, it's going to want to curl. So we're going to have to, it makes it a little bit more of a challenge when it curls, but that's okay. So let me center it the best I can here. Okay, I think that'll do. Just kind of go from the middle up and down. That way you won't get any bubbles, And I'll just get a little bit more with that. And then I'll do it again on the back. And that is a cover. We could totally leave it like that. Of course, we're not going to, right? But you totally could. You totally could. Of course, now we need to do the same type of thing for the inside, but I'm going to finish decorating the outside first. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to cut, I'm pretty sure I still want this one as the, I don't know, they all would look pretty. That one would look pretty too. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with my gut and stick with the teal. Okay, so you may see that I just cut the edges, the corners straight. If I didn't have this corner punch, I would have cut the curve, since there's a curve in the picture. But since I have this, yeah, I thought I would just kind of be lazy and do it like that. I don't know if it's lazy or if it's efficient. I'm going to call it efficient. Okay. Oh, that one doesn't seem. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay, so now, of course, ink-a-dink-a-doo all along here. Okay, so now you can just keep it keep it simple and just put that on there, that would be lovely. I think I want to add a little bit more to it. I can never tell which way is right side up. I think that's the right side up. Yes, I definitely want to add some lace like that. Let me see what else. What else? This is the fun part. Let me see if I have any scraps. Any other scraps that would work. Lacy scraps. Let's see. Oh, that's awfully pretty. That's awfully pretty. Let me think here. A little bit of brown peeking out like that. I kind of like incorporating the brown a little bit, especially since there's brown in that butterfly. Got a little bit of brown or copper, kind of a copper bling. I could maybe use that. Let's see. Just a pretty sheer ribbon scrap that I have. Okay. Let's see. I like this, but I'm not 100% sure if I want it on here. Oh, and I've got some pretty pink sari silk. Love sari silk. I mean, you can just, as you can see, you can just go crazy with this stuff and just really, really have fun. I have a tiny little doily too, but I think I'm going to save that for a bigger, thicker, chunkier project. Okay. Oh goodness. I just saw this looking at me. It's a scroll dangle. I think I'm going to incorporate that. I have a tutorial on this, by the way. I will link that below. But this is definitely, this isn't just an example of how much stuff you can make and add, and you can just go crazy. But I was just thinking, the green and the blue was looking at, the pink and the green was looking at me like, that might be a good addition to the spine. Okay, I'm going to save that there for now. Okay, so let's see here. Let's put some stuff together. Okay, you guys, that was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to just use up as many of my scraps as I could. And I think it turned out pretty nice. I still can't decide if I want to hang this little guy here, or if I want to hang it off of the spine, or maybe have it be a part of the enclosure, or the what am I trying to think of? I guess the enclosure. So I'm going to just put it aside again, just for a minute. I'm quite sure I want to incorporate it somehow, but how? I don't know yet, but that's okay. So that's all you do. You just play and you play and you play until something looks good to you. You can do the back of the cover as well, but I usually just leave it plain. The front is always going to be the focal point. And now what we need to do just quickly is finish up the inside as well. Now, thinking back now, I maybe should have done this before I did the cover, because now there's a little bit of bulkiness to it, but I can still make it work. But hindsight is 20/20. So I'm going to ink the edges. And I'm going to keep it a little bit more simple. I'm going to cover the inside I'm going to ink the edges and then cover the inside with a paper as well. And I believe what I will do, just to keep in the theme of this whole kit, I will have the inside be this paper here. Although, let's see, I'm going to have to print another sheet, first of all. But do I want it to be this way, or do I want it to be this way? I think the subtle stripes are going this way on this one. So I think I'll probably keep in line with that and then just have, just have the plain stripes go in the same direction. But now what I don't know is if it's tall enough for me to use this one. What did we say, 8 inches? Oh, not quite. Okay, so I'm going to have to, by 5. Not quite. Oh, so close. I'm going to try to cut this. If not, I need to go print out 2 of these then, and then we will do the same thing and cover the inside. So hang tight. All right, I'm back, and I just went ahead and did this off camera because it was the exact same process as we did with the front, and you didn't need to watch that again, right? Right. So that's what the inside is going to look like. And I have decided to incorporate these little beauties. I'm going to make a tuck spot here and a tuck spot here. So I went ahead and cut them out, inked them. Let me just do the gluing here real quick. Well, I say that, but I forgot to put my little plug in. There we go. I think that'll do. There we go. Okay. Just right there. Because you know how women are with pockets, right? It's the same thing with junk journaling. The more pockets, the better, I think. I mean, who doesn't like to tuck away something, a sweet little note or a sweet little tag or something? Why not? If you have the room for it and you feel the need, I say do it. Do it to it. Okay. All right, and then I wanted to show you another little trick, kind of unrelated, but I just I just thought of this and I thought, hey, as a beginner, you may not know this yet. So I'm going to make this into a tag. And, you know, you might say, but it's not a tag shape. That's okay. We can make it a tag shape. I'm going to go ahead and round off the corners here, just on the bottom. And then, well, let me show you this trick. I was in awe when I first saw this trick done. And I thought, now, why didn't I think of that? It's so simple. When you see this, you're going to be like, duh. But just go ahead and like cut, you know, like the tag shapes that we have here. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not going to assume anything though. So, you know, the tags usually have the little corners cut off. So just kind of pick an angle that you like so. And then to make sure that you match the other corner, because that's going to be really hard to get it exactly right, you just take the piece you cut off, flip it over, kind of hold it to the corner, or you can draw a line and then cut, but I find it's just as easy to just cut, but whatever works for you. And voila, there we have a tag shaped tag. I'm going to cut a little bit. I'm going to cut that black line off just a little bit more, just a shaving more. Okay. So cool. We just made a tag. That is awesome. Let me ink it. And then we'll just put a little ribbon on it and call it a tag because we can. Because we're crafters. And we can create anything that we want, right? Right. So let me just, my desk is starting to get a little messy here. Punch a hole in the middle. I think I'm going to stick with the same. That's pretty. But maybe, kind of like that. That's kind of, it's a little bit more bold, isn't it? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be bold. I'm just going to make a short little ribbon thingy. And very technical. It's a ribbon thingy. There may be a word for this that I don't know about yet. Oh my goodness. So cool. Cool beans. Let's just, let's tuck this in here. Actually, we don't need to fold it because it's tall enough to tuck in there. And then we'll tuck this tag in here. Yes. And then put this little beauty in here. I mean, seriously, you could play all day with this. You could play all day. And this one went here. All right. So now down to business. Now we're going to get serious here. But it's okay. Don't be scared. It's still fine. It's still fine and good. Okay. So we're going to do the deed, and we're going to attach the signature to the cover without sewing it, which is a beautiful thing. Oh, you know what? I was going to do one more thing to the cover. I feel like it needs a number. I love, especially vintagey things, they need numbers, I think. So I meant to do this earlier, sorry, but I'm going to add a number, I think, kind of right here. I know I want a bigger one. I want a bigger one. Not quite that big. I have some that are, let's see. These are all from my numbers kit. I have a vintage numbers kit that I can link below as well. Oh, here we go. I had some that have a little bit kind of floral design on them. That's kind of what I had in mind. That one's a little bit big. Yes, this one. That's the one. Whoops. I'm just throwing stuff everywhere now. Okay, that's the one. So I'm going to just trim it down a little bit more so it's more even. That side's actually pretty good. Okay. Oops. Okay. I don't know. Numbers always make everything, kind of give everything that vintage flavor, I think, too. Okay. Inky dinky doo. Inky dinky doo. Okay. All right. So let me do that real quick, and then we will move on to the serious business. Oh my goodness, I did it again. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to offset it a little bit, like so. Yes, I love it. Okay. All right, so now here's the only part that you need to, well, not the only part you need to pay attention, but definitely pay attention to this. So what we're going to do is take a hole punch, and we're going to punch 2 holes. Boom, right there. And then we're just going to string ribbon. And I think I'm going to go with the green ribbon that we used on some of the tags. It's a little bit different, but it all kind of just flows together nicely. I think just the different shades of green, they're still in the same family. Whoops. And I think it'll be nice. So here's one thing to think about. How big your hole is will really be determined by what ribbon you need, or what ribbon you're going to use. So this one is not very thick or fat. So I'm wondering if a regular paper hole punch might be too big. So let me show you another tool that you're probably going to want to get if you don't have it already. And it is called a crocodile, and it looks like a monster, but it is beautiful. It's specifically made to punch holes and then put the little metal grommets around the holes. It punches the hole and then it attaches that grommet. But I'd like to use it for punching holes too that are smaller than. Let me just show you. Let me just show you. So here's a regular paper hole punch. Okay, we're all familiar with that. And then the crocodile, there are two different size holes. And this one is close. This is the larger of the two. But see, it's smaller than that. And then there's an itty bitty one. Which works for a lot of things that I like to do, the itty bitty holes. But so a paper hole, if you just have a paper hole punch, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But if you want to get really picky, like I do, then, and if you have one of these, then you can choose pick your poison. So actually, since I made these holes, that's a good way to try it out here. So when we put the holes in, it's going to be, the ribbon's going to be kind of tight. So the hole will kind of, I still think that'll be too big. I'm thinking this medium one is going to be the one that I like. I think that'll be better. Could probably even get away with the tiny one, but it's really hard to work with that when you're trying to get a ribbon through. So we're going to stick with the medium size, which is the larger setting on the crocodile. So, okay, here's the important part. Before you start punching holes, don't do the signature first. Do the cover first, because you're going to want to go in as far as you can. Going to go in as far as you can, right? And here's the thing. If you start with the signature, let me just do one sheet to show you. If you go in as far as you can on the signature, well, the signature is smaller than the cover. So you won't be able to go in as far when you do the cover. So do the cover first, go in as far as you can, and then when you do the signature, then you can back it up. You don't need to go further. You actually need to go shorter. I hope that makes sense. So let's do the cover. And, we don't need to do any measuring because we know exactly where the center is. If I can hold it still here and just go as far as that little tool will let you go. And mine's very squeaky. I've got a squeaky crocodile. And just, you can see where that hole is. I'm going to have to hold it in a way that I can see it. But there's a hole there that you can see through, and you can just kind of line it up and you just go for it. And then we're going to do it again here. Line it up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Line it up. The other piece of paper was still sticking in there. Okay, here we go. Line it up in the middle and go for it. Okay. Lovely. So, you know what? I did the smaller side. I wasn't paying attention. I did the smaller hole. Okay, hang on. Hold on. Hold what you got. Everything's fixable. Everything's fixable. Usually. There we go. You were probably sitting there watching me going, hello. Were you yelling at the screen, telling me, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. All right, there we go. I was going to say, man, those holes looked awfully small. It's because they were. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so we've got that. Now, here comes the part that can be a little, it's not hard. It's just a little tricky. You have to be diligent, right? So we're going to get out our little friends here. Because we don't want anything shifting. Because then things just won't line up as nicely as they could. Okay, so, first of all, you may have been thinking, what about the book pages? Like this one. It's not going to get, the hole isn't going to reach it. But once everything is bound and kind of pulled tight, it shouldn't be a problem. If you're worried about it, we could always put like just a little bead of glue on the very edge there and just kind of glue that so it doesn't move. I'm not going to be too worried about it. If it becomes a problem, I can always still do a little bit of glue there. And then this one actually is big enough and long enough where I believe it will reach. It should, yeah, it'll reach that. So that'll be part of the binding. And then I think we had another one here. Yeah, that one won't be bound, but it's okay. I think it's okay. We're just going to leave them where they are. And let me see the one that is bound. I want to make sure I have that centered kind of, so it's okay. All right, so make sure everything is tap, tap, tap. Okay, and then we open to the center. like that. And you can see it's going to want to start shifting already a little bit. Okay. Now let me tell you experience, something I learned from experience is if you clip them while it's folded up like this, so that the spine is all nice and tight. When you, let me see if I can show you. When you so everything looks like it's aligned nicely, right? But when you open it up, everything shifts over. So before you clip it, flatten it out first and just make sure, just kind of play with it a little bit. Make sure everything is aligned and that that center spine is not moving when you flatten it back out. So kind of hold it down. That way everything is just kind of really, really kind of keep your weight on it so it doesn't shift. Right? Okay, and then we'll do that on this side. Once you have one side, then you're in pretty good shape. Okay, and so this, you can see now, I don't know if you can actually in the camera, but the fold they're all pretty much on top of each other. Pretty much. There's always going to be a little movement. And again, you know what? It's okay. It'll work out, but try to get it as close as you can, right? Okay, I think I'm happy with that. That'll be close enough for me. Okay, so now go to the larger hole. And actually the good thing about this, if you were to use a paper hole punch, it might have a little trouble going through all those papers. So I don't know if you might have to do half at a time rather than the whole stack. I don't know. I have really wimpy hands, so maybe it's just me. But this puppy, there's like a steel post, and it's really strong. It glides through quite a bit of paper without any trouble. So I don't foresee any trouble with this. So, okay. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So we need to make sure that the holes line up with the spine. So I'm going to put the spine in the middle. The cover. I'm going to put the cover in the middle signature here and make sure that I have the edges where I want them. I want to make sure I've got that and the same amount top and bottom, right? Okay. I'm going to open it back up. Did I move it? I think it moved a little bit. Oh, okay. Hang on. See, like I said, this is the part that can get a little bit hairy, but it's just a matter of just taking your time and making sure everything is where you want it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw where that circle is. Okay, voila. Now I can get to punching. All right, let's see. I can see exactly where I marked it. Right there. Lovely. And, honestly, I'm sure there will be some that aren't completely perfectly aligned. I have yet to be able to really get it perfectly aligned, but it's never like a horrible problem. Like, it's not going to affect oh my goodness, it's not going to affect the way things, look or operate. It just depends on how picky you are. And like I said, I'm picky. I'm pretty picky. But it's never been just like horrible. Just a little bit of, shifting. But that's why if you take your time with this, get it as close as you can, it'll be just fine. Okay. Okay, whew. That was the hard part. We did it. We did it. Okay. So now, before I unleash these guys, I am going to, oh goodness. Okay, I'm going to just pull the whole thing out. You need to decide how much ribbon you need. And basically what we're going to do is, with the cover outside, pull through, and then tie it in the middle. Okay. So just kind of pretending here, giving us a little extra grace here, how much I will have. I'll make sure I have enough to tie and have a pretty bow and such. So that's about right. That's about right. So I'm going to do it just a little bit longer, just to give myself a little bit of grace. All right. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and put this on the bottom. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. These greens and pinks are just, delicious. Delicious. Oh, I hear a siren. Don't hear too many of those out here in the country. I hope everyone is okay. All right, so I'm just going to thread this through my signature and then thread it through the hole in the cover. Okay, and then do the same down here. Oops. All right. All right. Okay. All right, now just pull it tight. Make sure the ends are even. I probably have way more than I needed. That's okay. That's okay. There we go. And the beautiful thing about this seam binding is, like, it's crinkly. It doesn't have to be even or straight or smooth or whatever. I think it adds more charm and character when it's actually a little bit wrinkly. So let me see about. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take these guys off, put them back in their little house. Okay, so now all we want to do here is tie it in a bow. Now, if you want, you could, and I may in this case, put like a little bead of glue right there. So it kind of holds it in place a little bit more firmly. Let me try it without first and see how I feel about that. Okay. Oh, look how pretty that is already. Okay, so yeah, it's really up to you. You can just let it, if you have it tight enough, it's fine. Everything will stay in place. Yep. But if that bothers you, you can certainly put a little bead of glue right there. I think I may actually just leave it. It's not bothering me like I thought it might. So, okay, so now this is a little bit too long for me. So let me just do a little bit of this And a little bit of that. Save those for something later. And, oh my goodness, look how pretty. Look how pretty. Okay, so now you can just leave it like this. But if this little gator mouth thing is bothering you, you can use, and there's so many different ways to do a closure. Earlier, I was saying enclosure. I meant closure. There are so many beautiful ways to do a closure. But again, since we are just dealing with beginners' steps and ideas, the easiest and very beautiful thing to do is just take an extra piece of ribbon. Whoops. Take an extra piece of ribbon and then just, goodness gracious, my fingers aren't working. Just, just tie it shut. And you can use, a different piece. It doesn't have to match. I was actually thinking, hang on, thinking some lace. I'm not sure I have a little kind of lace that I would, hang on a second. Okay, I don't have any more of the lace that I thought I did. So I think another pretty option would be this sheer ribbon. It's just so delicate and nice looking. So here, let's play with this here. I'm just going to weed it through here, maybe to keep that ribbon more intact. And then, again, this is way more than I need, I think. We'll see. And then just make a pretty little bow. Yeah, that's way more than I need. Unless, what if we did it double? Hang on. What if we did it double? That may not be enough. I mean, you could just do like just a knot, a loose knot like that. I don't know. I think I like the bow better, though. I think I like the bow. So let's just make it a little bit shorter. Okay. All right. What do you think? I think it's quite lovely. And let me see, how do we want to incorporate this? I feel like I need to incorporate this. This is a really good place for it. I originally was thinking having it just kind of dangling from the knot in the bow here. So let's see how that looks. Well, maybe. It doesn't want to poke. I guess it's not a very sharp pin. There we go. Okay. What do you think about that? Dangling like that. I think that's pretty. I think that'll work just fine. Or I was going to have it dangle here, but I think I like it right there. Yep. Done. Sold. All right, you guys. I hope that this whole series was helpful to you. Again, as you have probably seen by now, there are so many more things that you can do. There are lots and lots and lots of videos on YouTube. Of course, I would love to have you watch all of mine. But there are so many amazing crafters out there that have such great ideas. And I'm always coming up with new videos too. I have a load of ideas of videos I still need to make. Just embellishments and different closures and different spines and different covers and all that good stuff. So now I'm going to send you out to the world, into the world of junk journaling, and you just start playing and start creating, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because none of them are unto death. And most of my mistakes I learned from, and I ended up in the process of fixing my mistake, I came up with something better than what I originally intended. And that just amazes me every time. It's so cool. It's so much fun. So thank you again so much for joining me. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I get a new video out. And comment, ask me questions, interact. I'm happy to give you any guidance I can. And I would love to see you in my Facebook group, where we've got a lot of wonderful crafters in there giving us all inspiration. And I've got Friday freebies every week and just loads of fun. So I would love to see you join us there. And I thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.